I'm basically just fourth in charge, so I don't do a hell of a lot. I just help out at training. Probably the best thing I've done so far is organise a singlet and shirts orders for pre-season. That's about it.
Mate, you're one of my type of men. Now listen. Now you've got a young boy called Matthew Ryan has gone to the Shep Bears. But you've got quite a few ins, and you've got the likes of Dan Ellis from Tungamar, Isaac and Zeke Bunge, Lewis O'Sullivan from the Shepparton Swans, Charlie Stokes from the Sapphire Coast, Bryden Power from the Upper Murray, Lewis Pinnock from the Bush Rangers. Have you sold any of those boys' singlets or shorts that you can tell us about?
Yeah, they're definitely all on board for a singlet or a shirt, so they'll be there. Charlie won't be playing seniors. I think he's only 15, so he's definitely not on the senior list at the current stage.
Adrian, Dan Ellis, by all reports, they say he's probably the toughest on-baller in the competition. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, we were kind of hoping when he came across that he was everything that we were sort of expecting and heard, and yeah, he definitely doesn't take a step back at training. He's not a bloke you want to get in the way of. He gives his 100%. He's part of our sort of coaching group, and he's really stepped up and taken charge. He's happy to take blokes aside and give them a few tips, or just pretty much just lead the way. He's really good, and looking forward to see what he does throughout the year, because he's looking very exciting at the moment.
Yourself, you kicked 54 goals last year?
No, yeah, last year wasn't too bad. It's pretty good when you've got a few other, obviously really talented blokes down there as well to help out, because it's not very often you'll come across a side that has 3 or 4 really good defenders. So when you can sort of share the workload and work a few blokes over, it can be pretty easy to end up with the ball sometimes. But yeah, just working together, it's good.
And you said you only sold T-shirts. So obviously you can play a bit. Lee James has kicked 47 and Sean Downey kicked 35. So obviously you got a good share and a good spread on your forward line, and you were the only side to beat Picola last year.
Yeah, the forward line's always worked well, and as I was saying, a few experienced blokes in Lee James and Sean Downey. They've played a lot of footy for a few clubs, and to get them across and just to have them share their experience and that sort of thing, it's really good. What was the second question?
Oh, right, I throw the baton straight at me, Johnny. What do you think, after last year's grand final, mate, we were there that day, and they looked too good everywhere. You think these boys you recruited, they got a lot of holes to fill, or just getting more clearances out of the centre? Is that what will lead you in a better way? I thought the ruck contest and their height on the forward line was probably a little bit detrimental to you in the last year's grand final. Is that fair or not? Or if you disagree with me, you can have a crack. Don't worry about that. But I just thought, I hope you've recruited stronger in that area.
Yeah, you're right. We were obviously, yeah, being able to knock them off once last year was pretty awful conditions, but a win's a win. So then to come out in the grand final and put up the performance we did, we were pretty disappointed as a whole group. So we really, come back and made a point to sort of fill the gaps where we think we were lacking a little bit. Really try to get those bigger bodies in the areas that we need, and try to make up probably for where we were lacking a bit last year. In terms of Picola, I don't have much to do with them in terms of I don't know much about their ins and their outs sort of thing. We haven't really worried about it too much. We've sort of just come into pre-season with a new plan, and we really want to stick to that. And obviously having them up round 2 before round 1 would be a good test to try it out straight away, and then that gives us the rest of the year to change anything that needs changing.
Just 2 young blokes you got here, Isaac and Zika, is it? One's a ruckman and one's centre-half forward, centre-half back. They've got to be a huge bonus to your side.
Yeah, Zeke actually played in our 2015 flag, and he's quite an awkward bloke, but at the same time, that makes him really hard to match up on. So he'll be really good to have back. He's sort of bigger sort of bloke, and he really has a crack and puts in for us, which is good. Isaac used to play at the club. I don't think he's played since he left the thirds, but once again, he's even bigger, and he'll be really good to have around just as a sort of second or first ruckman, depending on sort of injuries, that sort of thing. He'll be really good to have around because, once again, bigger blokes, they're pretty valuable. So if you can get them playing in a few different positions, then you never know what can happen.
All right, mate. Well done, and wish every success for the season. And it should be a great year for you. And if you're confident you've got enough, and you're kicking 54, you still got Lee James down there. I know Lee'd be getting on a bit now, but for a boy his size, he's a great overhead mark and can take a hanger. I saw him at Moala. I think he was originally a Tungamar fella. He could play the game a bit. So good luck in 2017.